Why trusting the process is key for long term success. First of all, guys, trusting the process is more sustainable than solely focusing on results. Focusing on results can be frustrating and exhausting over time, okay? However, embracing the process allows you to develop consistency, persistence, and discipline, of course. In the meantime, you can learn and grow, reduce stress, build habits, enhance creativity, cultivate resilience, celebrate small wins, and of course, maintain a long term perspective. Hi, guys, my name is Fabio from Journey to Success, and welcome. Today, we will explore how believing the process can lead to long term success and fulfillment. We're going to also identify the struggles people face when pursuing their goals, such as impatience, self-doubt, and the desire for immediate results. But before we move forward, as always, please subscribe so I know this is the right direction to guide you, to lead you, to drive you towards your journey to success. And let's get started, as always, all right? So consider this formula. Trust the process is equal on self-belief plus ambition plus action in the right direction, and multiply this for love. Self-belief. What is self-belief? When you truly believe in something, you don't always question how you are going to achieve it, okay? Sure, you may have doubts at the beginning, all right? It's normal. But over time, you will prepare yourself and take action. For example, guys, if you're a father or a mother, you do what needs to be done, okay? So if you have to wake up early for work, you simply do it. The issue arises when you think you have a choice. Huh? For example, when building your career or your personal dream, you might believe that there are multiple options if things go wrong, okay? Like looking for a new job. So, having a plan B alongside plan A can indicate that you don't fully believe in what you're building. On the contrary, it is essential to have a safety net at the beginning of your journey. For example, in my case, just my personal example, I work on my podcast, right? But I know I cannot solely count on it for financial stability. So I also need a job to cover my house and bills. Hmm? A job that doesn't dry my energy. Okay, that's very important. So it's crucial to have a job that supports you physically and mentally. Okay, something that doesn't drain you. Then we have the ambition. So, who do you want to become? Hmm? You have to make this question. So, it is important to set small, achievable goals. Taking consistent baby steps can lead you towards your dreams, guys. Consider who you aspire to be. Maybe the next Lady Gaga or Elon Musk. You need to be ambitious. I don't believe in solo dreams. A dream becomes real the moment you are committed to shaping it into reality, right? But you need to be ambitious as well and realistic in your plan. That's the focus of the journey to success. So don't be scared. Tell yourself who you want to become and then make a plan. Okay? Action in the right direction. This is something people often underestimate, and I completely understand why. Um, I knew how to be consistent, how to build habits if I talk about myself, and especially how to have a plan. I know how to have a plan. However, if your plan lacks the right direction, that was mostly my problem, you could end up somewhere you don't want to be, full of stress, doubts. It's like planning a trip to Italy while driving towards Spain, you know? It's like wanting to become a singer, but settling for an easy opportunity to be an actor, even if that's not your true calling, you know? It's also like planning to become a doctor, but feeling obligated to run the family business. It just doesn't make sense. It simply doesn't make sense, okay? And it's funny because this seems like a clear, obvious concept, right? But yet we all struggle with it. So if you plan to become someone but end up doing something else, it can drain your energy and leave you feeling overwhelmed. Okay, don't forget that. So once you find the right direction, remember what you love, okay, and why you choose this path. I choose this path because I want to help people achieve their success. In my adolescence, guys, I felt trapped. And I want you to understand that just because your family, partner, or anyone else has an opinion about you, it doesn't mean they're right. They're expressing their own beliefs, you know, but that doesn't mean they're right. Okay. You have within you the capacity to achieve everything you want, everything. Whether you are from a small village or a big city, it doesn't matter. Be ambitious, okay? Even if others do believe in you. Remember, if they doubt you, it's not because they think you can't do it. It's often because they wonder why you could succeed when they didn't. Okay? It's about them, not you. It's about their weakness. It's not about your courage. Also, there is a lot of envy in the world. Feeling envy is normal. Is a normal human emotion. But when it leads to pity and nastiness, it crosses a line, you know? I remember an episode from the Russell Brunson show, you know, the creator of ClickFunnels, where he had a guest. I don't remember who was the guest, but he had a guest who shared something interesting. At the start of his journey of this guest, the people around him cheered it for his success, but once he achieved it, he felt a change from these people. They were saying to him things like, now that you're successful, you don't talk to us anymore, yeah? So he realized something important. People want you to do well, but not better than them. So keep this in mind, okay? It will be fundamental for your journey. Of course, not all the people are like that, but keep it in mind. Hmm? So I will say, yeah, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, especially because, see, if you don't, no one else can. And if you can't, it means you don't believe so much in your dream. I know it's hard to believe this, I know that, but that's the truth. All right. Now you can say, okay, Fabio, all right, beautiful words, but how can I identify my strong goals when trying to reach my goals? Let's be honest here. Believing in the process is not enough. It's easy to hear gurus on social media with, you know, their quick reels telling us to trust the process or believe in yourself. If they were that easy, everyone would achieve everything they wanted in life, you know? The reality is that we all face different challenges as the same people you see on your favorite social media platform. But what are these challenges? At least, what are the common ones? So, we mentioned impatience. So, if you don't cook your tomato sauce properly, you won't have a great sauce, right? If you raise the temperature for a cake, you will burn it. If you move your furniture too quickly, you could damage something in your house. If you try to build your closet without the IKEA guide, you'll always slow yourself down. So I could provide so many examples about it. Talking about the digital world, the one we're consistently connect right now, part of the blame, in my opinion, lies with social media as well, which teach us that with a viral reel, anyone can become the next Kaby Lame, you know. But that's just the same as winning in the lottery, in my opinion. At least in the lottery, you can get some fake satisfaction when you earn the same amount after you spent 7 times more. Here it's just worse. It is a mirage. If you have chosen to look at this podcast, guys, it means you are looking for something different, something authentic, real, and concrete. And even if it's painful to hear some truth, at least you get it. You get the truth here. All right. Anyway, honestly, I want to be honest. Patience is key. That's all. Don't rush. Don't make the same mistakes I did. When you are impatient, we tend to rush things. If you rush, you will quickly become stressed. And when that happens, you lose the energy to continue on your journey. And at the end of the story, you will find just yourself stuck, okay? Remember, there is no need to rush your journey, but you do need to be more consistent to move forward. That's for sure. It is a marathon, not a sprint. Something I I sometimes forget as well, honestly. Make a clear a plan, a clear path, and build habits around you, around it. For example, wake up at the same time each day or set aside one day a week to focus on your goals. That would be a good plan. Understand the direction you want to take. And, you know, like the church bell you might have here in your town, be ready. Have a cup of tea, a coffee, and take the first step. Work. Work for yourself, for your dream. Then we have self doubt. How can you expect people to buy from you if you don't believe in your product or in yourself? In my opinion, there are two different types of self doubt, guys: useless self doubt and useful self doubt. Let's talk about the useless self doubt, all right? Useless self doubt, it is when you believe that there will always be someone better than you. You may think that whatever you do is never enough because there is always someone better. Useless self doubt, guys, manifest in the belief that luck is essential for success and that you are simply not like enough. It is also involves avoiding responsibility by blaming others or thinking that your cons can prevent you from succeeding. Okay? Then we have a useful self doubt. I'm sure you didn't hear this from no one because I came up on my own. Well, in the contrary, right? Useful self doubt is implanted in a positive mindset. So while you can acknowledge the existence of better competitors, you focus on finding solutions. So you rely on luck in a way that your persistence can create opportunities, okay? So if things don't go as planned and no chances arise during your path, you just keep moving forward without stopping. In my opinion, useful self doubt involves taking responsibility for your actions, shortly reflecting on mistakes to find solution, and accepting your imperfections while seeking improvement via the right tools. For example, yeah, in my own experience, when I listened to my podcast and I didn't like how I sounded, whether it was my grammar, the way I express concepts, or my overall delivery, right? I initially felt discouraged in a way that I knew that bigger podcasters would be always better than me. All right. Um, in fact, there were different attempts before to succeed, before to have a journey to success. I opened a different podcast, two, I think, before this one. However, instead of surrendering to useless self doubt, I ask myself, Okay, so how can I improve this? So, what tools or techniques can I use to become better? So, once I embraced this mindset and started to appreciate my podcast, I became my own target audience and recognized my growth. I became my own fan of my podcast. At that point, I knew I was on the right track. Okay, and that's what you have to be. You have to become the fan of your project. Desire for quick results and impatience. Desire for quick results and impatience, guys, look the same, but they're not. Impatience is about frustration, right? Frustration with the timeline. So you want, the results now, even if you are not fully ready. It often leads to giving up too soon or making rush decisions. Example, let's say you want to become a podcaster. So you launch a few episodes, don't see huge numbers, and start doubting, the whole thing or jump to a completely different project. The desire for quick results is about efficiency and optimization. You still respect the process, of course, but you are motivated to find faster ways to achieve your goals. So it's driven by ambition, not frustration. However, that can become also a problem if you don't manage well. I'm going to explain with another example, right? You want to grow your podcast fast. So you study marketing strategies, optimize your content, and run targeted ads, all right? But target ads don't work. So then you try to promote on Facebook group organically because you spent already too much money. But spamming on Facebook groups brought you some frustration. Then you ended up on Instagram thinking that your chance to become viral is higher than whatever you did before. So you are actively, working smart in the beginning, but later on, you lose the compass. And that's, guys, it's a problem, right? So, what are the quick key differences here? Impatience is equal on focus on timeline plus fast decisions maker, but can lead to frustration and impulsivity. The desire for quick results instead is equal on focus on reaching your success plus a quick and strategic plan, but you can lose your compass. So you need to practice patience instead of rushing things and seeking quick but results. You have to be focused on long-term goals. I know that sounds tiring, maybe boring, but that's the truth. Consider Kobe Bryant, right? And his Mamba mentality. He was known for his deep belief in the process, guys. So Kobe didn't just chase trophies, he obsessed over daily improvement. He show up to practice hours before everyone else and studied every detail of the game. He didn't skip his training even when he was already a celebrity. And one of his famous saying was, rest at the end, not in the middle. Now, many people misunderstand this quote. They think Kobe was a fast learner dedicating tons of hours per day for a week. That's not the case, of course. Yes, maybe it could be some exceptions, right? But it wasn't his style. In my opinion, what I noticed in his study, let's say that he had a plan to improve his jump. Hmm? I'm sure he wanted to understand every trick and movement needed to enhance his performance. I'm sure he would have dedicated a consistent amount of time daily, maybe 30 minutes or 2 hours, 4 hours daily, I don't know. But for sure, the set amount would have been split along the days to achieve his goals over several months. So the key point here is that he was a consistent human being. He never rushed. The moment you rush is the moment you risk burning yourself out, okay? Kobe truly understood the power of long term thinking and trusting the process, even when immediate results didn't appear. Now, let's break down some points. See, when you only focus on the outcome, guys, maybe followers, money, or recognition, it's easy to feel frustrated and lost, all right? But when you fall in love, you fall in love with the process, you build consistency, habits, creativity, resilience, all the stuff that actually leads to achieving success. Hmm? Now, what did I talk about today? First, how self belief is the foundation. So, if you don't believe in what you're doing, why would anyone else? Number two, how ambition gives the direction of your dreams. Who do you want to become, guys? Hmm? And third, why taking action in the right direction matters more than just being busy. I even share this formula with you. So trust the process equals self-belief plus ambition plus aligned action and multiply for love. Because yes, love for what you're doing is non-negotiable. And I also dive deep into three big struggles we all face. So we have impatience, rushing, the journey only drains your energy. Self doubt, so there is a useless kind that holds you back, and the useful kind that helps you grow. And the desire for quick results, which looks smart at first, but if you're not careful, can completely put you off track. And lastly, I talk about Kobe Bryant, right? So how he trusts the process, show up daily, and didn't rush greatness. His quote: "Rest at the end, not in the middle." So here is the point. Um, if you're tired of feeling lost, if you are working hard but not seeing results yet, it means it's time to stop chasing shortcuts and start building something real, brick by brick, guys, day by day. Now I want to hear from you. What is your biggest takeaway from today's episode? How will you apply this to your own journey, guys? If this episode inspires you, don't keep it to yourself, okay? Share it with someone who needs that extra push today. Your support, guys, doesn't just help me, as you know. It might change someone else's path too. And that's, for me, it's more important. So keep pushing forward, take action, and of course, trust the process. Thanks for being part of the Journey to Success Club, and see you in the next episode, guys. Cheers.